Hey guys, Brody here with Squid's Pressure Washing LLC, Kansas City's highest rated pressure washing service. It would have been really hard to talk over the pressure washing gun, so I'm going to show you guys here a technique that we use to avoid starts and stops and striping. And this deck was perfect because it just needed basically a dusting. So the distances you'll see are the distances that we would use if we used chemicals to clean a really bad deck. But here I use a spring clip on the trigger and an adjustable handle on a 4-foot wand to maintain a uniform distance and walk the entire length of the board. This is only really possible if you lay out your hose out of the way, but by having your hand on the hose, it allows you to control it a little bit while you walk. Also only possible because the homeowners that actually cleared this deck off. So we're just washing this in prep for stain. Not really that bad. So again, just a dusting, but the distances you'll see are exactly what we would use to avoid gouging, starts and stops, everything, whether we used chemical or not. So it's about 10 to 12 inches, and that's going to vary based on the PSI of your machine and the nozzle setup you're using. We don't use anything below 40 degrees on the nozzle, pattern. So 40 degrees allows you to avoid that gouging, whereas 25 degrees we've seen a lot of gouging, starts and stops, tiger striping, and some other things that just can't be fixed without sanding or even replacing boards. Now, if this deck were really bad, really funky, we would likely use sodium hydroxide, and then we would follow it up with oxalic acid in order to neutralize. Sodium hydroxide is a really good cleaner, although manufacturers have different binders and some other soaps that they mix in. So this video won't be about the mixing ratios. We like Pressure Tech's F18 Max, and the rule of thumb is when in doubt, start low and increase. So carry a small pump sprayer with you so you can do some test spots. And now I'm going to show you that wand unclips from the gun. It just has a 1/4 inch quick connect, female to male, and the short gun makes doing rails really easy and getting into tight spots where you can't quite fit the long gun. So we refer to them as short gun, long gun, but all it is a 4-foot wand that clips right into the quick connect. And I'll show you that in a minute. So again, this deck was pretty much clean. So the distances you're going to see here are the distances we would use if we were using chemicals. Sodium hydroxide followed by oxalic acid is really good if the deck is really funky, and it can restore some decks that some of our customers have thought they were going to have to replace. So pressure washing is kind of the the last test to see whether or not they're going to replace it. On a deck like this, if it were much dirtier, we'd probably use sodium percarbonate, and sodium percarbonate is, if I remember correctly, basically OxyClean. But don't use OxyClean. It's a lot more expensive for a product that you can get in bulk on Amazon even. And that's where we get our oxalic acid too. But that 4-foot wand makes it really easy to stay out of the way so you're not getting covered in water. And the chemicals, depending on how bad the deck is and what you use, should be doing all the work. The underside of this deck is probably the cleanest I've seen. But here you can get to rails posts, all kinds of stuff for that 4-foot extension. And it's really nice to have. A little bit of a warning in the previous part of the video where I was using the spring clip to hold the trigger open. I would not recommend that unless you had the gun over your shoulder like that. And the reason is, if you trip, slip, fall, bump your head and drop the gun, it's going to take off on you. So if you do, by chance, let it drop off your shoulders, you can kick that spring clip off and it'll shut the water off. But you'll notice here that I'm not using that spring clip. I'm using a Suttner 2315, which is my favorite gun. It's chemical resistant. It's got a ceramic ball and stainless steel internal parts. But the Suttner 2315 is known for being 80 to 90% easier to close and hold closed versus other guns. With this wand like this and as much pressure as coming out of the big machine, there's no way I would be able to do that with any other gun besides the Suttner 2315. It's really nice. It's a lot easier on the hands. And I'm going to shut up for just a few minutes while you guys watch this, and you can see how nice it is to get into nooks and crannies, under the stairs, all kinds of stuff with that extension. It also makes it really easy to wash the posts on the other side of these stairs down off of a retaining wall without me having to get super close. It's just a lot more ergonomic, so you're not always bending over and squeezing your body into tight spots. I'll reiterate here, it looks like the distance is kind of far away. The distance there, again, is the distance that you should be using if you're using a chemical. And if the deck is much worse than this, it's highly recommended to use chemicals that do the work, and then rinse them off. Not super close, but at a distance of 10 to 12 inches and sometimes further. Let the chemicals do the work. I'm going to take a quick opportunity to say thank you to the 653 subscribers I woke up to the other day. My girlfriend owns a massage therapy practice, and I've been pushing her to get into videos, but I was a little bit of a hypocrite because I haven't posted one in about 4 months. So I do appreciate the subscribers, all the likes, all the comments. I'm committing to 1 video a week, and that is so I can keep up with you guys. But I am grateful for those that have watched, comment, like, and subscribed. So now I'm going to show you the setup. This is the Suttner 2315 with the short gun, female quick connect. That wand quick connects into the gun, and then your nozzle holder. But this is crucial, an adjustable handle. This handle makes it possible to throw the gun over your shoulder.